disappear now. The shark's no. Thank you. Come on. Oh my god. Oh. Let's go.
It's sweaty time.
Helps fight bad breath for 12 hours.
Night night.
TheraBreath, it's a better mouthwash.
What if Dagon was a vengeful cursed spirit born of Rico Amidai? Let's talk about it. But first, shout out to Alan for sponsoring today's video, and I especially appreciate the use of emojis here. First, let's talk about some background information that we can build from. So we've got cursed spirits and vengeful cursed spirits. What's the difference? Well, a normal cursed spirit is just kind of a collection of cursed energy that eventually condenses and takes physical form. For example, somebody like Jogo, who represents, the negative emotions surrounding volcanoes and fire, earth, that eventually culminated with Jogo. And the vengeful cursed spirit is a born emotions that's wired to a human that is working to die very specifically as the potential just like the again, it's implied for no reason to not think that, but it's possible that that is a misconception on so whether it's fun, right? So if you're at least going to come with me on this level, say that it's the possibility of Dagon within the first spirit, let's take the sun. First things first, skipped by Toji, a man with zero personal energy with a gun, no less. So there was no for her to return to the right? It was Dagon wearing a nun's outfit, and Rico was a missionary's head-dressing spirit. The next few actors that will get with it, right? So I think it's fair to say that there is a little bit of resemblance, especially the fact that he's the vortex. Also, we mentioned that in one of the shows that was out there, all Americans the vortex. Typically, Dagon is wearing, it's not hard evidence or anything, but it's interesting. The next video was heavily associated with water imagery. So if Dagon isn't the disaster curve representative of humanity's fear of those things, it makes sense that Dagon would spread that ocean colors and revolve around that. It was basically the fear of that it's like a freaky paradise, right? It's nice beach above the ocean there, hang out there. So, again, if it was the disaster first, it's a rather pleasant domain of considered, right? I can think of a much more terrifying ocean type thing. The dragon's domain was actually where it's like with the big glass constant river gotta admit that there is a poetic narrative switch to that. Takes out Dagon, get another headshot. With Dagon, still takes the spirit. I think this seems like this brings together all those characters. But at the end of the day, I don't think this is the case. I think Dagon would have done something with this information at this point, especially like that. Maybe it's just not good. At this point, Dagon's dead forever. Right? So I think this reveal would have happened and would have had some impact on the story if this was the case. But, it's also one of those things that's not really going to affect anything. So, it is what it is. But I'd love to hear those thoughts in the comments.
Before school. Vitamin C. Another flavor is the sweet organic sweet potato carrot. Chili, turkey burgers,
Why do more people recognize them? What's up with that final scene? What's up? Oh, there's one little bit more. Talk about how Toji actually did that. It is established several coincidences surrounding the document. Essentially, what that's saying is take information from someone who passed away. That to summon their body or their soul to a living vessel. So what we're trying to do specifically was summon Toji's body for the grandson to possess for you. His evolution of the body is level for the grandson. So it was that by only summoning Toji's body, not summoning his soul, they thought they would be safe. It was that the grandson's soul would have been in the public room body. And they would just be focused on no drama. don't find the grandson got Toji's body, and this is the grandson of Toji's body. We know this because what the party took some time to try. But so we can still body, let's look at the challenge itself, and then we start with the second. The body starts moving, it's up to the and that's the first Toji's body. Just their body. So this body is heavily restricted. So this circumstance allows his body to just completely overwrite the grandson's soul. So it takes over the eyes and that loss. Now it's less than fair to say to suggest the exact same things that exist in the world. Again, this is a body that is overwritten. So it's because of that, it's operates on pure instinct, which is why he just starts running around with the strongest opponent fighting. That's why the coach felt that the
Yeah!
Adults under age 45, like against circle developers, data, and supervised mechanisms such as direct data and the doctor may recommend screening for certain age people.
Yeah!
But comprehensive screening are still needed. You shouldn't get Gardasil.
Before we get to that, I explained that this entire scenario is stacked with coincidences, right? The body is able to overtake the soul, and the second is that the way the technique works is that it's mounted. It has a timer, but that timer is based on the vessel's person. In this case, whenever the grandson runs out of energy, the seance technique is a drop to go back to its normal form, because Tochi's body would disappear as a man. But again, as everything is the technique will never run out. It will just run rampant. That's why it's still a garbage technique. And again, just operating on pure instinct, running around being a goblin in Shibuya. Now, as far as why Toji wasn't recognized, he actually was by Naoya, who is the head of the Zinnin clan. You know, he's older, and he obviously would have known Toji when he was alive. He even says Toji, which it's kind of weird that Megumi didn't hear that, but, you know, there was a lot going on, so we'll let that one slide. And as to why neither Baki nor Megumi recognized Toji, well, let's talk about both of them really quick. And also, again, we're shooting with neither of them over the war. So, in this case, would have just been still alive at the same time, but she would have been a little girl. She obviously didn't know about the so I think for sure it's still really good. But only by reputation, they can realize it's dead. So this person that just posted to the domain, she's not going to assume that it's recognize Toji at this moment. Now, for Megumi, you know, same situation where he's young and everything, but obviously this is his dad, right? So you would think he would recognize him. But he really just doesn't know much about his dad at all. In fact, Megumi thinks his dad is still alive. It's just his the strongest opponent. Recognize this guy essentially what else going for, right? But when that fight's over, it's going to be the next strongest opponent. So why do you recognize the negative after they did have the one fight over? And it's because he was in this instinctual bloodlust mode. However, as the fight continues, it's basically critical and slash negative. And in that moment, there was a trigger of recognition. And we then see Toji's eyes go back to white. This is some kind of next in that instinctual bloodlust mode. And it becomes more level-headed self. And we recognize this inside. Which it took a while because it's becoming very effective as an adult. The last time he was 6 or 7 years old. So obviously there's a resemblance there. He does eventually see.
When he was like 6 or 7 years old.
But once he does recognize
When he was like 6 or
takes him out of
7.
this, and he asks what his name was. And the reason he does that is because the whole thing with Megami was that
Can you with a TurboTax expert?
So while he was going to do that because he's an insurance and wanted money, he was conflicted about it, right? Which is one of the reasons he told Reiko about this fight. So at this moment, he was trying to determine if Megami ended up being sold to the syndicate. So when Megami said his last name was Chihiro, he was waiting to happen, knowing that his son was Megami. So he chose this plan for himself. It was kind of this dark yet wholesome moment where Toji takes himself to his son. And again, for his wife, Megami never had a similar moment of recognition because she doesn't know enough to recognize that system. Yoko has still never told him what happened. For all Megami knows, his dad is dead, he's still alive out there. Now, if some dad goes, it's only right that we have our dad. Because this question fits pretty well in this video as well. And this one comes to us from Mike, who wants to know why Toji in season 2, episode 2 said Megami as if he didn't know his own son. He's on the racetrack and his liaison guy mentioned that Toji has to pause and think for a bit. For Megami, the explanation here is simply that Toji is the degenerate dad that got his son. Moment actually comes full circle later on in the inventory arc after the Seto is talking about that had been blessed with your curse techniques that were taken out by a monkey. But it was blessed with that it's like, oh yeah, Megami, I'm the one that killed you. So it's not until like 3 days later that that's one I'll let you shed some light on those things for you guys. And again, special shout out to Raphael and Mike for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys so much for the support. I will see you guys in a minute.
Oh my god, why do they laugh so bad?
So, how does the sorcerer understand or even know what their purpose is? I mean, you got guys out here that are calculating their moves based on speed and perspective, and they just yes, well, that's true. Why don't know that it's about this isn't something that you want. You've either got it or you don't. Okay, so you got to develop it, but know what you expect to do. No, that's the first one because where it's at, it's going to be around 5 or 6. Now, why is that the case? Who knows? We've never really touched on, but that's how it works. And up until that, I have no idea what you're going to do. It's possible. This is why we have to see the future with these posting level keys. Basically, we go to the price of the menu that their investment is worth a lot more. If you got the same salaries, you got a young man, let's call him 5 years old. And even though he's ready to buy Koji and then Gojo, let's pretend that this 5-year-old man doesn't know what sort of and then boom, a year later, manifested some shadows, and all of a sudden you got a couple of these monsters, right? And then about the same time that happens, also it's going to make base level understanding of the first thing. Now, that's not to say that you got the full-on everything but just some sort of base level understanding of, oh, that's why you want this here, and I have okay. This case, he had a huge leg up compared to the average Joe in the street because he is from the more underground. As it turns out, so that because of that, there's a lot of people missing. As you find out with the coach, Joker has some plans like data books, all the perspectives, and everything more than what's going on. So the right foot and right the right now tell them they have a double. If they have people from their phone, they just think about this thing and understand but this is like they had no one, right? They don't explain to him how it's worked. Plus, we just had some sort of innate understanding, and especially in this mind into domain expansion, there was definitely a process of developing those things now.
Dang!
I think it just had some base level understanding of what he was now capable of. With that out of the way, now I want to address a few questions that I've gotten that prior to the video. So first up, shout out to Matsuran who asked, how do you spell domain expansion? You know that he has have any fights that challenge their other systems. What we want to do is watch it happen. And no, I don't think you just like turn a switch on yes, I understand. I think you can train and eventually unlock that, which is obviously by the fact that you have so in Gojo's case, it wasn't some heat of the moment battle that brought out his it was him just training and utilizing his knowledge of the energy that he unlocked during his training, like Gojo's case, I think he's more likely, right? Because we know that already out of the passive doesn't game. Technically, possession. Probably not. Well, it's probably subject. I got this question. What did you use to sort of
Wrong way. But what the?
So I think that is the greatest of the verse, and I don't think that's this time. I think aside from the quality and its JoJo that another quality. So a bit of course
Oh my.
80% talent. I don't think it's something that just any average Joe trained hard enough to achieve. You're gonna need the